Mania. Thanks for joining me. I'll just make sure my iPad is caught up and everything looks okay. Bear with me for a minute. Did notice the other day that even though I streamed to my business page, it didn't actually go there. So I'm a bit worried about that. Hopefully it will go everywhere that I hope it goes to this time. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'll just watch the chat as people jump in. So jump in, say hi, tell me where you're watching from, and we can get some crafting done. I do have a couple of things to mention to you before we get underway and while people are joining. We have our amazing, for the month of October, it's well and truly underway now. We have our amazing 35-year celebration, 35-year anniversary celebration joining offer that started yesterday, goes through to the end of the month. Now, the big thing, the big number here is 35. You either get 35% off the standard starter kit, or you can buy 35% more for the same price. So what that actually means when you see the numbers, I'll just find the graphic there. What it means when you see the numbers is that you have two options. You can either buy the standard starter kit, which is $235 of product of your choice, and only pay $109.85. So that's like less than half price. So that's an awesome deal on its own. Or you get a second option where you get 35% more, and that means for 169 Australian dollars, you can get $317.25. So that's incredible. I've never seen a joining offer quite that generous before. So if you're thinking of joining and you'd like to reach out to get more details, please let me know. Obviously, this is directed towards Australian customers only, but yeah, it's a great offer, and I'd love to have you on board, even if it is just for the starter kit, and then you go back to customer. Doesn't really matter as long as you grab this amazing offer. On top of that, whichever option you choose, you get free registration to our November On Stage at Home event, which is a great afternoon event or full day event of crafting and Stampin' Up news and all those sorts of things that we do once a year for Stampin' Up, which is great, and that's a value of $123. So on top of the great deal above, you also get to participate in a wonderful event in November for free, which is awesome. Okay, so I think that's really all I needed to show you there. The joining deal, I know I sent details out in email to my newsletter to my customers at the end of, or the beginning of this month, so a couple of days ago. So if you haven't seen that email yet and you are a subscriber to my newsletter, please jump on and have get a look at more details there as well. Okay, it's gone really, really dark and yucky here at the moment, so I've got some lights on, so hopefully that will help us see. I'm also downloading some extra software for my webcam, hoping that it'll help with my focusing issues, so we'll see how we go with that as well. It's a matter of trying to get the best out of this new webcam and trying to get the software behind it to behave itself with the focus. But anyway, okay, so we're doing I think we called it a corner flip card, and I've actually called it the wrong thing in the streaming up there. I probably should fix that. I'll fix it later. Anyway, so it is a corner flip card. I think that's what I saw it called on the web. A dear friend, Tammy, sent it to me. She said, "Wow, let's check out this fold," and I went, "Wow, that's great. Thanks, Tammy. You've done my work for me. I know what I'm going to be doing with my next video." And so this is what one we're going to do. I'm going to make it with the Merriest Trees bundle, which is brand new. I'm going to start seeing a few of these things from the new mini catalogue from me now that I've got my launch out of the way. I've shown my wonderful customers all the wonderful new products that I've got. So now I can take it a bit broader and show everyone else as well. So this card has obviously something happening here in the corner. You can see it sort of angles down like that. And when you open it up, it actually pops up slightly, and it's got a little Christmas tree with some presents around it there as well. So I'm not really sure how you sort of display this one. Maybe you display it open like that, sort of with that leaning on something on the wall behind or something. So pop it on a bench with that on the bottom and that leaning up, just to get the pop-up effect of that cute little tree inside. but it's definitely cute here. You could just display it like that. No worries at all, I shouldn't think. So as I say, I've used the Merriest trees. There we are. We're going to have a little look at that one. It's an awesome bundle. It's got the dies, obviously, and the stamp set. And it's got this great big Christmas tree here, which is the one that I've used on the front. It's actually got 5 sort of layers or branches, I suppose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right up to the top. But you can actually, with the dies, and I think I've mentioned this previously, you can just cut the top or this 2 or 3 or 4. So you can create a Christmas tree that's as big or as small as you actually want. So you can see I've used the 5-layered tree here, and I've used, I think, probably just the 3-layered tree inside. So it's exactly the same stamp. It's just been die cut with the smaller die to give a smaller tree. Anyway, let's start crafting. I will do my big Christmas tree from the front first. I have cut all the, stamped and cut all the little presents and baubles and things that I'm going to need. So thankfully you won't have to sit through me doing that. But I did want to do the Christmas tree just to show you the versatility of this stamp. So it is quite a large, obviously quite a large stamp to get the full effect of the tree. So it needs a fairly large block. I think this is one of the big end blocks of Stampin' Up has. And I'm going to stamp this in garden green. I haven't got it all over my fingers. And I'll do 2. I'll do one for the outside, which is the full tree. And I'll do a smaller one for the inside, which I will cut down to 3 branches. We just had some soil delivered for our garden beds, raised garden beds. So it's all exciting. It's all sitting out there, but Stephen's not happy because the weather's just turned bad. So he can't go out there and put it down, or he might try, but I don't think he's going to get very far. I am using my foam mat underneath this one because it is a photopolymer stamp. And sometimes if your stamp pad isn't particularly juicy or your stamp is a little bit new, you can sometimes with the photopolymers get a little bit of incomplete stamping. So popping the, oops, and there goes my glasses on the floor, popping the foam mat underneath helps that, if you're ever wondering. So that's my large tree, and I will stamp just the little 3-tiered tree now. And I will die cut both of those. There we are. So I obviously have stamped more than I need there, but I'm just going to use the 3-level die just to cut out the smaller tree. Let's bring our machine in and grab the dies. Close the ink. That will be a disaster if I leave that open. Okay, so the dies, forgive these, the dies are a bit messy because I've just thrown them all back in. So this is the big die there. So that's going to cut the whole 5-layered tree out. And this is the smaller one that I'm going to use. So that's the little 1, 2, 3-layer tree there. Lots of other dies in that set. There's a little tag there you can probably see, which I'm going to use for my next class. There's some baubles and things. Really good thing is here there's some baubles there that fit the stamp. There's actually 3 of them, so you can cut out 9 baubles at a time, which is awesome. I hate having to put something through the cut and emboss machine millions of times just to do multiple little images. So with this one you can pop it through 3 dies and die cut 9 baubles in one go. Okay, so I'll show you those in a minute. I've already done those. So that's my 2 trees that I want. And my handle just came off. Must have come unscrewed. Happens from time to time. Leave those on there. Grab my trees out. There's one. And there's the second, really cute. I don't think I need it again on the floor. Okay, so there's our two trees, our big one for the outside and our little one for the inside. So let's do this. So I'm going to show you how to fold this card so that you get that little funny corner happening. Grab my trimmer. Now, I did see some Facebook or Pinterest posts where the people used templates and things like that. It was all a little bit complicated for me. So I thought probably I would just show you how I thought was a nice, easy way of doing it. The sort of fold that I've got here is at the 3.5 inch mark along that angle and the 2 3/4 mark on that way. So it's a 3.5 on the horizontal and 2 3/4 on the vertical, if that makes sense. So all I've done is grab my card base. Now this is my normal 8 1/4 by 5.5 card base. Pop it along the long edge, mark it at 3.5. Just grab a pencil or something like that, a stylus of some sort, and pop a wee mark at that point. I'll move up a wee bit so you can see it. So 3.5, pop myself a little mark, rotate it, put it at 2 3/4. Right, 2 3/4, and pop another little mark. Then all I'm going to do is line that up, both those marks with my trimmer. And rather than cutting, make sure I don't cut, that could be a disaster. I'm going to score. So I'll score between those two lines. If you were doing more than one, probably getting a template happening would be good, because then you wouldn't have to put the 2 marks, but I was only making one, so I thought that was probably good enough. So basically you get on both sides, because the trimmer takes both sides, you get that score that you want. I might just move my trimmer for a second. We'll need that again. What I'll do is burnish the folds so that they fold nice and sharply. And then once you've done that, open it up, tuck that down, and you've got your fold. There we are. So that is the fold of this one. So really all you have to remember is 3.5 inches and 2 3/4 inches, and you get the fold that you want. I did contemplate what would happen if you sealed that down, and now I can see that that would be a disaster because the card doesn't open, but that's okay, that's fine. I was thinking about it overnight, what would happen if you sealed in there. That's okay, because the card wouldn't open. That's what happens. Okay, so there we are. That's our card. There we are. Now let's get decorating it. I'm going to use the paper which I love. One of the nicest Christmas papers this year is called A Walk in the Forest. And it's got some lovely colours. It's got your berries. Of course, it's got your standard berries and your fir leaves and all those sorts of things. Got some nice stripes and everything as well. It's got the bears. I noticed a lot of people have been die cutting or just fussy cutting those bears, which is nice for cards. Pine cones, berries, some snowy scenes there. Yeah, so a really nice sort of general paper for Christmas. Snowflakes aren't really Australian, but we have lots of Christmas trees and things, so that's pretty cool. Saying that though, we did get snow here in Hobart one Christmas. It was a very, very unusual Christmas. We did get snow on the mountain above us. Didn't settle very long. It didn't hang around very long. And as it is with Tasmanians, we talked about it for the next 40 years. But yes, it has happened. We have had snow in Tassie on Christmas Day. Okay, so we're going to decorate this with our pieces of designer series paper from our walk in the forest. I have this one, which has got the pine trees on it, and I've got the stripy one, which I think is just the other side of so both sides of the same paper. And I've got a piece of white as well. So I'm going to have to decide which surfaces. I'm going to pop the stripy one on the front this time. Oh, this is 8 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, so 1/4 inch smaller than our card base. I'm going to pop these on there as well. And to cut the right angle in these, I'm going to line them up roughly where I would like them. I might just move my trimmer because that makes things cluttered. I'm going to bring it back in and tick. Line it up so it's the right distance away from your sides and bottom and top. So there, I've got the right distance all the way around. And I'm just going to pop a wee the same thing, pop a little pencil mark where I want the cut to be. So from there to there. So that's also the right distance. Make sure I can see that one. There we go. Bring back my trimmer. And if you were brave, you could probably cut both pieces of paper at the same time. I'm not being brave today. And cut that corner. Okay. So because we've matched that perfectly, it fits just right in that little gap there. So you have a little triangle of design series paper left over. I'm going to do the same with the trees. So the trees are going to go on this back one. So we'll get rid of that. That one's okay. The trimmer again. The trees are going to go in this back panel. So when it's open, you can see the pretty tree paper. And again, line up where I want it to be. Just add a wee mark on either side. So it's following that score line. I'll bring back the trimmer. Line those up. And there we are. So that's the right angle for that one. And while I've got my trimmer, I'll do the same for the white, because the white is where the personal message is going to be, or the follow-on sentiment. Line it up there and there. And here we go. There we are. And that one's going to go right there. Now, these are the little triangles here. I'm not going to bother with using those. They're just waste, or I'll pop it aside. I do want the white one though. So I want the white one for the gap above the score, because that's where our Christmas presents are going to be. So I want them to have a nice white background. Now that piece cut from there is too large. So what I'm going to do is just grab my score again and just take off 1/4 inch strip from the long edge, and that will fit now perfectly in that little gap as well. Okay, so using your pencil, mark it up, and then all we need to do is take a wee strip off that to make that the right size as well. Okay, let's pop these down so you can see where we're headed with all this. So I might, since this one's here, I'll pop it down first. So this is our inside layer. Come on, ink, glue. I know you're a nice new glue, so I know there's glue in there. It's not coming out. Must have left the lid open too long. Come on. I'm going to squeeze that really tight, really heavy, really strongly, and it's going to come out all over the place. Just watch. Whatever it is, it's in there, nice and gluggy. Come on. There it is. Now I've got ink everywhere, all over my fingers. We'll see how we go. All right, so come on out now. Oh, goodness me. I'm going to give this a big, big, strong squeeze. No, you've lost your chance to be famous. I'm going to get another one. Let's have a look. I'll come back to that glue later. And it's decided to behave itself. Okay, new one. So here's our white panel. And a little triangle. And then we'll pop our trees up here. I was contemplating this one for a class, but I think those angles might be a bit hard to explain in a PDF. And it uses quite a bit of cardstock as well. I've designed series paper as well. So, yeah, I don't think we'll get this one in a class. I've got a bit of a glue splodge down there, so I'll just get my rubber. So that's the inside. Now we do have the spare triangle here that we could pop in that corner. Actually, I don't mind that. I might do that. So I'll get my trimmer back. And again, I'm going to cut that 1/4 inch slice off the long end. And I'll actually pop that in place. Don't want to waste it. It's just silly. Let's just take that 1/4 inch. Which 1/4 inch I think is about 6 mil, something like that. No, 1/4 inch would be. Let's pop this one in here, just in that little corner. Yeah, I like that. That's the inside done. Put that inside. Here's our outside. So I'm going to add our lines in there. And that is the outside part done. Okay, so that opens like that. And then that's what you see on the outside. Okay, so let's get our Christmas tree happening. Let's pop that down. I don't think we need that anymore. So we've got our big Christmas tree here, which coincidentally is the perfect size just to pop just to the left-hand side there. So it's got that bit of interest of actually popping, sort of overlapping the edge of our little angle there. You could pop it there if you wanted to, if you're a bit worried about it overlapping. If you put it there, that's just as nice, and put your sentiment out that way. I'm going to pop it this side because I do like that overhanging bit there, especially when it's on display like that, sort of have that sort of poking up. I'm going to pop some glue just on the bottom half of it, just because that's all that's going to stick to the cardstock, the card base. And I'll take that down there like that. So that's our nice big tall tree, our full-sized tree there. Okay, now let's get decorating. We might as well decorate the front first before we go on the inside. What do I have? I have a sentiment box from the Stylish Shapes sentiments. That's going to sit on, coming out to the right-hand side, so out that way. And I have various baubles and presents. Now, these are all from the stamp set. and I have stamped them and die cut them already. So there's lots of presents in that. Is Blueberry Bushel, that is Real Red, and the yellow is Daffodil Delight. So that's the three colours I'm sticking to for my presents and for my baubles. So see, so Daffodil Delight, Real Red, and Blueberry Bushel. But I also have all the baubles cut in those colours as well, and that's what I'm actually trying to get out. So I might just tip everything onto the table. This could be asking for trouble. There we are. And I'm going to pop some baubles on our Christmas tree. So starting at the top, and I'm going to try not to be too over the top worrying about the positioning. I think I admitted to you guys over the weekend, I do have a bit of a thing about the positioning of baubles on Christmas trees, even paper Christmas trees. I have been known to, when the kids were little, rearrange their work in decorating the Christmas tree. I have been known to go in and move them around if they've put them in the places that I don't agree with, my unwritten weird rule. But that's okay. I don't think I'm the only one who does that. I might be the only one who admits it, but I'm sure I'm not the only one who does it. Okay, so we'll pop these baubles on. So as I say, red, yellow and blue, the bauble colours I'm sticking to, and I've stamped them and die cut them. And as I mentioned, the dies, there's three of the bauble dies in the pack. So you don't have to run them through the machine too much. You actually can get one run of the machine gives you 9 baubles, which is good. I don't know how many I've got here. I must have 18. I'll just pop some little bits of glue on there, and I'll pop the baubles on. I want a blue one now. Yep. I'm just take my pick tool just to pick them up and then firm them down on the tree. Now, in my launch, I actually didn't use these little baubles. I actually used the iridescent discs that are in the catalogue as well. They are really bright and shiny and cute. So, yeah, the choice is there. You could use these little baubles from the actual stamp set, or you can use some bling. Both would work. But I thought if I was going to try and show you the actual stamp set, I should probably use the stamp set just to show you what's included. Yeah, just a couple more. Now there's also some in the die set, there's also some, you can cut yourself some tinsel. So use a gold foil or a shiny paper of some sort to cut yourself some tinsel, but I won't do that for this one. I think there's enough happening there with the baubles. That's actually an upside down one. There we are. Okay, so our Christmas tree has some baubles now. One more thing that a Christmas tree needs, obviously, is a star on top. So I've cut this from the die set, and I've used the brightly gleaming specialty paper. Here we are. It's really sort of blingy. I'll put that on top. Sorry, I got a bit distracted then. Somebody's trying to message me. Always seems to be when I'm on a video. It's usually my mum. There we are. So there's our little Christmas tree, all decorated with its star on top. Okay, so let's get the sentiment done. I've got some baubles left over. I'm going to pop those in on the tree inside. So we've got our little sentiment box here. As I say, that's from the Stylish Shapes. I'm going to use the Hoping Your Home is Filled with the Spirit of the Season. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to stamp that in Garden Green. Sorry, I should have mentioned at the offset, the card base is Garden Green. So that's the card base I've used. I'm going to pop that more towards the right-hand end of the sentiment box because I'm going to slip the left-hand end up under our Christmas tree a wee bit. There we are. Just so it fits the full length of the card. So I'll glue that on and then we'll bring some Christmas presents in. Okay, so let's pile up some Christmas presents under our tree. What is going on here? Forgive me for a second, guys. Apparently somebody needs to get me desperately. It's okay. That can wait. Yeah, so let's pop some Christmas presents under our Christmas tree. Let's pop them in. Just going to pop them with some glue around the bottom. Just pile them up so they look like they're all sort of piled up ready for the children to come in the morning. Now there are some little ribbons and things you can cut for these presents as well. Again, I think I've got enough happening with this card to just stick with the presents themselves. Although I'm sure you'll see those things in future videos as well. I know people are starting to get excited about Christmas, but it still seems so far away for me. We have a series of birthdays and things to get through before Christmas rolls up. So we've got birthdays in October, November and December to get through before the Christmas season actually hits. So yeah, I tend to be quite, I don't think about Christmas till it's almost upon us, to be honest. Once I get all those birthdays out of the way. Nearly there, a couple more. Put this one so it looks like it's leaning up against the others, just for something a bit different. And this one, and that's the end of the front. There we are. Okay, So there's all our Christmas tree presents lined up under the tree, which is cool. Let's do the inside now. So the little Christmas tree that we've got is going to sit on this white panel here, so it flicks up when the card is opened, which is really cool. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on just on the bottom of that because it will also overlap the edge a wee bit, just like this. As you can see, when that's open, that little bit sticks up, which is, I love that. I just love that sort of, sometimes when things stick up over the, over the edge of something, it just makes it feel really just different. We've got some little baubles left over, so we might pop those on, but I might put the presents around this one first, and then I'll know I won't waste my baubles. So let's pop our presents in and around this one. Just basically going to cover the bottom of the Christmas tree with some presents. We have the same sort of theme on the inside as the outside. I always like that. Carrying the theme from the outside in. It's definitely raining now. He's not going to be a happy chappy. He can't get into the garden at all. I'm sure you'll find something else to do. Piling these up, putting different colours next to each other, rotating them a bit so that they look a bit sort of like they're different dimensions of presents, just to give it a bit of interest. Popping them behind each other so they look like they're sort of stacked up in and around the tree. Yeah. So that's our Christmas tree with its presents underneath. A little bit of space for baubles, not a huge amount of space for baubles. I'm not going to pop a star on this one either. It's a little bit small. I'll just pop some of these little baubles on. Don't want to waste them. Some different colours happening. Here we are. So that's the inside. Oh, that's the inside there. Nice and close. There we are. Cute. Okay, so inside we'll also put another sentiment. We're going to grab the, and I've already got it out, I think. This is the, what do we say? We wish you a Merry Christmas here. And it's in the shape of a Christmas tree, which is really cool. I'm going to use that on the inside. Then I'm going to use my garden green ink. I'm going to pop it over here to the left-hand side. I'm just going to leave it there just on its own. It's often used on a Christmas tree, on a Christmas tree shaped die cut. But I think it's just cute here on its own, making itself a little Christmas tree by default. And there's also a little star, just a little plain star. And I will since it's pretending to be a Christmas tree shape, I will give it a little star. There we are. There we are. So that's that one done. I really like that sort of little combo of the Christmas tree shaped letters and the little star on top. It's really cute. Yeah, so that is our corner flip card. If I can flip it the right way, that would be good, Julianne, that way. That's our little corner flip card. It's got a little tree with some presents on the inside, some really pretty paper. So when it's open, it looks like that. And then it closes up and looks like that. Okay, so that's it. That's obvious. You can probably straight away think of lots and lots of different ways you could design that corner flip card. So I'd love to see what you come up with. Yeah, so I think it probably obviously can be an all year round fold. If not, this one's just a Christmassy one. So there we are. Okay, thanks for joining me today, guys. I'm sorry I got a little bit distracted there with that constant buzzing of my phone. I think I need to turn it off so that it doesn't distract me, because it does I do tend to lose my train of thought sometimes. But anyway, so there we are. That's my card for today. Thanks for joining me during the week. I will see you all again on Saturday. We might try and I don't know what we'll try and do on Saturday. I haven't actually worked it out, but we'll get there. Okay. So thanks for joining me, and I will catch you all again next time.